Welcome back to the channel. My name is Onokifa Edith and I'm currently serving at Jigawa State, Nigeria. In today's tutorial, we're going to be sewing a bustier and also learning some tricks on how to have this very beautiful, neckline whereby you don't have your lining puffing out and stuff like that. So please make sure you watch to the end of the tutorial, give the video a thumbs up if you find it useful, and if you haven't subscribed yet to our channel, please subscribe. We make video content concerning fashion design, DIY, sewing, and everything in between. So please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time we upload new videos. So without any further explanation, let's get right into business.
I actually ironed gum stain on the main fabric to give it extra weight and also to achieve the desired result, since I'm not using a boning or an already made cup. I'm going ahead to stitch the back piece of our material of our fabric, and I'm going to be lifting up my footer to do the back stitch because, like you can see already in the video, my thumb is paining me. Yes, so you can also actually do a back stitch like this. Just lift up your footer gradually and it's going to stitch it for you. So after that, you just open out it up and we're going to be ironing, doing the same thing for both back piece. If you haven't watched the cutting tutorial, please go ahead and watch it before furthering this video so you can understand what we're doing very well and what it is we're trying to achieve. This is my front piece, so I'm going to be taking this center front and one of the side panel, and I'm going to be putting them together, making sure that they are aligned. This is very important, especially if you're just trying out this or if you're a beginner. Make sure that the nipple to nipple is aligned and the under bust especially is aligned. Now you see the notch I made, so I'm going to make sure that they are aligned. The reason for this is that so that you don't end up sewing and you have one bust point raised up and the second one dropping. You don't want that. So make sure it is aligned. Take your time, make sure you measure, you check through and see that those marks are aligned. So after doing that, you're going to put on your machine and you're going to stitch them together. Okay, stitch them together with the seam allowance you left while you cut the material. Guys, if you know you're enjoying this video, make sure you subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. So you're going to be stitching carefully, and when you come to this curve area, please make sure you do the curve. Don't go straight, no, still use your seam allowance and do the curve just the way it is, nothing different. Okay, just like the way you see me do right now. So after stitching the one side of the cup, you're going to be seeing the result of it shortly. I don't know, sometimes machines do these things and they gather thread for no reason, so I'm just going to go in there, take my bobbin and try to adjust it. Now I'm done with all that. Now I'm going to cut my thread and we're going to be seeing now how it looks. The first one we've done is really looking nice, and that interfacing, that gum stain is really giving it that beautiful effect. It's not just looking all down, so it's giving it a very nice effect. That's one of the reasons why we put gum stain on this fabric. Now I'll be doing the same thing on the other side of the fabric, making sure it is aligned, very important, and going through your 1/2 inch seam allowance that you put there. Okay, nothing more, not less. And for easier way, you can actually mark it out, maybe with a pencil or a tailor's chalk. Just mark it out so that once you're sewing, to be easy for it to just go through your mark, okay, and not always be measuring or eye gauging, so you have more accurate sewing. So I'm just going to go through there and make sure everything is aligned and put together. Then I'm going to be stitching it down. So after stitching the both sides together, we're going to be looking at how it is. And that's our under bust there, which we're going to be notching quite now. We're going to be notching it because I really like doing this, because it actually helps me when I'm ironing to give this,
great looks. Now the next thing we'll do is to sew our lining the same way we sewed our material, back panel together, that's the center back and the side back together, and we're also going to be sewing the front panel together, giving us the same pieces. Okay, nothing different, the same pieces. Now you have to go ahead and iron out your seams. Okay, I'm going to be opening my inseam, I'm going to be ironing them. I'm using my own personal tailor's ham I made myself. So just go in there and make sure you iron it out. Make sure you iron. Using pressing iron, you have to press it, that's why it's called pressing iron. And if you're using a steam iron, just make sure you iron. That's what I'm trying to say. Both the main fabric and the lining. You see the way I'm going into iron, just to smoothing out those curved edges. That's what you're going to be doing. The next thing now is that we're going to be using our hemming gum to actually add to our neckline when sewing. Now this we're going to be putting on the material, that's on the lining, the front part, not the bottom like the way you're seeing me do like this, because if you do like that, it's going to feed in into your machine and it's not going to sew well. Get so just put it on top of your material in the part you can see that is visible, and you're going to be sewing down your seam allowance. Okay, and when you're sewing, make sure you are adjusting your hemming gum as you are sewing through your neckline. You know, it's straight, it's not circular, it's not bent, it doesn't have those your neckline curves, so it's going to be like not looking straight, but it's totally fine, because when you turn and iron, everything's going to melt down smoothly. And the reason for using an hemming gum for your neckline is because after ironing it, it's going to stick your lining to your material, thereby not causing any of those fabric to puff out when you wear your clothes, and giving you this very beautiful neckline even without top stitching. That is the reason. So go ahead and do it carefully and do it simply, and after that go ahead and notch your neckline all through. Okay, the notching is going to help hit some tension and stress that has been gathered from sewing. So after that, this is what it actually looks like even without ironing yet. Okay, so we're just going ahead to iron, and then we're going to be sewing our back panel together. Sew the fabric and the lining together for the back, and also top stitching, because I'm not going to be using hemming gum there. After that, I'm just going to take the front fabric and the back fabric, and I'm going to sew the sides together with my seam allowance. Also, you can just mark this out and sew directly without using tape to measure, maybe with your tailor's chalk, but I'm going to be using my tape to measure along as I sew. Fabric to fabric, lining to lining. This would make all your seam to be inside. This is how our inside is looking. It's looking all pretty, all nice, as though it's a two-way dress without our seams showing. Just the back side, which we'll cut. We're going to be cutting about 1.5 inch for our lacing, and we already have our lacing fixed out using a bias, so we're just going to be fixing it in that 1.5 inch. You can use 2 inches or thereabout. I'm using 1.5, so I'm going to be moving 1.5 inches from our back side. After stitching this bias stripe in, make sure you double stitch for extra firmness. That's stitch 2 times like you can see, and this is what we ordered versus what we got. I'm really happy, guys, with the result that came out. It's looking so beautiful and firm on me even without a hand, but I just decided to add the hand to it. So it's personal preference. You can choose to leave yours like this and rock it and slay it. Is your style. If you know you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and like our video. Till next tutorial, keep making progress. Bye.